Hello boys. So as a tour around the shop, that DeKalb corn sign, growing up in Iowa, all the cornfields were owned or supplied to DeKalb corn. That's feed corn there. That's not the kind you eat, that's feed corn. So driving along the highways in Iowa, DeKalb corn signs were everywhere. I think they were every, I don't know, a few hundred yards. You saw those all the time. I found this at a flea market, gosh, 25 years ago. I am absolutely certain you've seen this before because it was in our bathroom at the San Juan house. But yeah, so it's here in my shop, DeKalb corn. That's a little memory from my childhood. So today you've asked me about high school. I spent all 5 years, I'll get to five in a minute. I think you know the story, but I'll get to it. All my high school career was at Central High School. Central High School at that time in 1980 when I went to high school was a very rich school. There had not been in 1982, they closed a lot of the high schools around Phoenix. And so we got in 82, 83, we got an influx of a more diverse group of students. But at that time, it was a rich high school. You either went to Brophy and Xavier, or you went to Central High School. So coming there from Chicago, I lived in Uptown, this North Side neighborhood, was very strange. We had in Chicago a diverse population of Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, Jamaicans, just African Americans, white folks who identified as Polish, Irish, German. There was no like, I'm white, that's just what I am. No. Polish, Irish, German, Italian, Russian, some Russians. So every flavor of person you can think of, Vietnamese, Laotian, we had some Korean kids, a lot of Puerto Rican kids, but coming to Phoenix at that time to Central High School. Let me back up just for a second. So how did I end up at Central High School? We lived in downtown Phoenix, essentially, 9th Avenue in Latham, which the 10 goes through there now. We had a house there that got condemned and they took it for the freeway. But so how did I go there? My school probably should have been North High School on Thomas and 12th Street. We came out a little bit early and we were driving around with our folks, kind of looking around Phoenix, and we drove by Central High School. And there was, I just saw some kids in football jerseys and I said, I want to go to that school. And it was Central High School. You may remember Central High School. You probably know where it is because I am famous for saying when we drive past it, hey, I used to go to high school there. So Central High School. I arrived for registration day on my freshman orientation, that kind of thing, which was just before school started. I was shocked at the whiteness, the richness, the beauty, the health, the wealth of the people I saw. The girls especially, the boys I'm sure were the same way, but I was looking at the girls. I talked about Kim Wah, who I saw on that first day. And Kim Wah was representative of that group. Just a shocking immersion into white people that I had not experienced in a long time. I did not find it comfortable. I am to this day more comfortable around people that look different from me. I know that sounds strange. I am very suspicious around white people. To this day, white people I don't know, which is strange because most of my friends are white people, but I know them. So yeah, a lot of white people, a lot of really, really, really beautiful girls. Central High School was divided amongst groups. I don't know what it was like in your guys' high school, but we had groups. So we had the freaks, which were the stoners. You remember freaks and geeks? Freaks. We had freaks, that's what we called them. Geeks, for sure. They were the AV guys. They were the guys that were into punch card computers, was what we had back then. Reel-to-reel tape, that kind of thing. So freaks, geeks, art punks, which you guys would recognize today as goths. We called them art punks back then. They wore black eyeliner, maybe a little bit of makeup. Jocks and preps, which there was some permeability in there. This covered both genders. Cowboys, a few years later we got the cholos. There were no cholos there when I was there at the beginning, that first day. So lots of different groups. Well, I say lots, but maybe, I don't know, a dozen different groups. So yeah, the first day, I just wanted to play football. I don't know why I didn't play football the first year I was there, my freshman year, but I didn't. Probably couldn't figure out how to make my application. My parents were no good in that respect. Mom was a blistering alcoholic at that time. Dad had his own problems. We came to the order in 80. We stayed in the, we came to Phoenix in 1980. We stayed in the order for 1 year. My freshman year, we stayed there. And then we left. High school, I look back fondly. It took me 5 years to get through because my freshman year, I think I was just so in shock and dealing with so much at home that my grades were terrible. I remember my first report card was 4 D's and 2 F's. It was not good. I have a picture right here. So 1 year I took photography and I love that class. This was the portfolio we had to put together at the end of the year. I colored this, I drew this, photo 1 and 2. And in the front, I just tore that, that's all right, is a self-portrait of myself. A friend, it's not a self-portrait because a friend of mine was standing up on the upper walkway at Central High School and he took a picture of me. And I think I'm saying, what? To him. Anyway, so there's some pictures in here that I took. I've kept that all this time and I'm grateful because I threw away so much. I had yearbooks. I have one, but it doesn't belong to me. It belongs to the guy who owned the coffee bean, was the bean tree. He'll never get it back. He lent it to me once to look at. I forgot about it until years later and I'm not in contact with him anymore. Yeah, high school. You know, high school was weird. I came in with just an absolutely crushed self-esteem from the order. I realize now I should have said this at the beginning. I'm doing this video about high school because it's going to lead into another video I'm going to do about Mom and me and when we met. And this is to give you a little bit of background on where I was in the year or two years before I met your mom. And I'll speak about that in that next video. But my sense of self was destroyed from being in the order. My self-esteem was non-existent. I was shy. I was quiet. I kept to myself. I did have some friends, for sure. I didn't make any really good friends until my second year of being a senior, when I just had to do some cleanup classes and I joined an auto shop class that was put on by Phoenix Union High School, which doesn't exist anymore, but at the time it did. It was a magnet program. I had like 3 credit hours I needed to get one semester, and so I joined this and I could just go there and work as a mechanic for half the day. That'll come into another video later. Let's not talk about that anymore. I did make some good friends there, good friends I had after high school. One guy I lived with. But for the majority of high school, I didn't really have any good friends. Nobody who knew me. I was just crushed with loneliness all through high school. It was a very, very hard time for me. Nana was an active alcoholic. She wouldn't turn that around until 1986, which we're talking about 82, 83. It's only a few years away, but which is good. I'm happy she turned it around, but at the time it was terrible. Dad had a stroke in 1981. He was not the same for many years. He was an undiagnosed bipolar sufferer for a number of years after, so it was very difficult. But I look back on high school with a lot of fondness. I do love to go by that school. There was something so normal about it that spoke to me, even though I was having so much trouble. It just really spoke to me, even more after the closing of all the high school and we became a lot more diverse. The first 2 years before that were kind of weird. I couldn't really find my place, but when we started getting different races, different socioeconomic backgrounds in there, I felt much more comfortable and made some good friends there. Lots of stories from high school that I just can't really come to right now. If I can line up 4 stories from high school, I'll make a video about that. But there's just so many things to think about. Cruising on Central Avenue, that was just what a great time. Some of the jobs I had, I'll do that video because I've had a very interesting life when it comes to jobs. I've had a very interesting life, no matter what you say about certain events or things that happened or things I did. It's just been what a glorious life I've had. Yeah, so Central High School, Central High Bobcats. Yeah, I guess that's all I have to say right now about Central High School. I love you both. Bye.